WEEI Late Night with KJ on EEI.
Oh, my Atlanta days right there. I'm an outlaw. Late night on WEEI with KJ and part of the WEEI Sports Radio Network. Thanks so much for hanging out. 617-779-7937 is the telephone number and the text line, which some creeps can kind of, peep in. Send. Go ahead. I see him to the left of me. 37937. It's okay. Free speech. Well, we should probably have a constitutionality class about that. At WEEI.com, there's a cool article by Andy Hart titled Tom Brady led NBA-ification. Okay, grammatically, an A next to an I cannot happen. NBA-ification of the NFL is bad for football. So while I will never challenge my colleagues here at WEEI, I will on this one. Tom did not ask to leave. Tom did not express out loud how unhappy he was. In fact, once Tom's season was over here in New England, many of us know he had these letters next to him. UFA. Unrestricted free agent. And that's what's different. Most of the players who are now making statements about their situations, and we'll get to a couple of them, are not even in comparison to Tom. Tom was just a negotiation that, let's just call it what it is. It was a failed negotiation. Tom won out. The Patriots are trying to figure it out. That's just what it happens in business. There was one time people never thought that Ma Bell would go under or U.S. Steel. Where are they now? So, with Tom going to Tampa Bay was more of a liberation thing. I think that's why I played lap dance, because, that just probably just went right along. Giselle's like, Tom, where are you going? I could say that because I have a stepmom from Guyana, and it's right next to Brazil, so we can go there. I'm an outlaw. I'm tossing trophies. Tom just let it all out. A sort of exhale for all he went through. When you look at how Tom's contracts broke down, it's like why was this guy getting prorated bonuses every year? This is his first season where his prorated bonus is 0. Give me 15 in salary, 10 for being on the roster, all guaranteed, no other questions. Well, I'm an outlaw. That's how Tom is feeling. But that's not the case, say, with Dak Prescott, where, and I'm just going to put it out there, because sports and entertainment are one in the same. When I started hearing people say to Dak Prescott, well, take less money. You're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You'll get endorsements. Okay. For sure. Like Madison Avenue is right there in the locker room saying, yeah, we want him to do financial investments commercials. We want Dak Prescott. Maybe some fast food ones, but I don't know how healthy that is really for a quarterback. Everybody gets the proverbial soup commercial every year, though that seems to be kind of a curse over the last couple of years. Saquon Barkley, soup commercial? Knee. Dak Prescott, soup commercial? Knee. Well, ankle. So when Dak Prescott was told, well, take less money because you can make it up in endorsements, what they were kind of telling him is, you may have some difficulties getting endorsements as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And so when your franchise kind of plays you along and plays you along and plays you along, and then you break your ankle, then kind of the organization kind of plays itself, because Dak still got a $34 million check after he broke the ankle. But now he's in a quandary where I just heard Jerry Jones earlier today down in Texas, in Dallas on the station, saying that Dak has all the leverage. Really? That's like some
money.
of those. Yeah, exactly. I'll believe that as much as I believe some of these 2 a.m. prayer request commercials I see. Send me $10 to pray for you. You know that's free, right? So if I'm Dak Prescott, who today, it seems like he's in the middle of the movie. What is the movie with Stay Woke is in it? The horror movie. Get Out. He's in Stockholm Syndrome. I'm still ready to do it, even though they release a hype video without you in it. That would be like the Patriots, although that would be smart this year, is just releasing a hype video of nothing but special teams. Like, watch all these punts. Look at that fair catch. Look at the form on that fair catch. And you don't put the quarterback in the video to sell the team? Dak Prescott is a bit different in this. As a fourth rounder, he kind of appreciates that he's given the chance, but they didn't take this long to give Tony Romo his money. Think about this. Carson Wentz is on his way out, and Jared Goff has been traded, and they've gotten new deals before Dak has. And Dak is still with the same team. So Dak is one that chooses not to speak out, but everybody who kind of looks in the window at you're just looking at the window, at a shop, at a flower shop, and you're seeing, wow, that's a wilted flower, still trying to hang on. If I was Dak Prescott, I would be as loud as about DeShaun Watson. Now, here's DeShaun's. I hear people say, well, he's got a contract. He needs to play. I said this a couple of weeks ago. The Texans are going to dig in. If you think they're going to give him up for everything, they don't care about that because that's their culture. As I've mentioned here, when have you ever heard of, during a head coaching search, you interview the backup quarterback? Boy, isn't that breaking some kind of union rules right there? At least here in the Northeast. You mean Bob, who's been here, just pretty much just kind of filling potholes for 3 days, is now suddenly my super? I'm going to the manager or the foreman. But DeShaun says, look, the culture, I don't like it. And he has a right to say that. But the Texans don't have to trade him. They don't have to do anything. In fact, they could trade him to somewhere where they don't have to give up a whole lot. And DeShaun says yes. So you say, well, he could go to Miami, but what if the Texans don't want to send him to Miami? Well, Miami could give him more. So what? I had to beat out an NFL player to marry my wife. You think I look better and had more money than that guy? So it always isn't about what you have in your pocket. I'll be careful where I go with this, Dylan, right? Sometimes it's about what kind of environment you offer. That's why I believe that the Patriots aren't necessarily out of the DeShaun Watson situation. Not because there's not a bunch of players here, but because if he wants to just come and play football and not worry about potentially the owner not liking maybe some of the music and the language in the locker room, some of these owners, they just don't like those beats. They just don't like them. It's not our culture. And maybe he just wants to be out of that culture. And if it's like, hey, we're sending you to the Patriots, would you go? And he says, yeah, if it means I'm out of here. It doesn't matter what the Patriots had to give up. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's less than what they got for Stafford. Try and figure it out all day. It's all about relationships. But then you got someone like Aaron Rodgers. And my dad loves Aaron Rodgers. It's like, that's a kid who needs to be put in timeout. That's literally Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't blame him because Brett Favre tremendously scarred the guy. Well, first, 21 other teams in the league did. When you play over and over, him just sitting back there, you can see the wait staff pulling the plates off the tables behind him. He's still sitting in the green room. Are you going to finish your appetizer, Mr. Rodgers? Hold on, I still can get drafted.
What happened?
Exactly. They knew something about your persona and how it may affect culture. I think Rodgers was so upset losing to Tom Brady that there was a piece of me that thought he was so angry at Green Bay that if someone said, would you go to the Patriots? He'd go, I don't know. Because he's kind of that petty. Like, more petty than Tom and the Heartbreakers. He's very petty. Petticoat Junction for those who are older. But Aaron Rodgers is just a spoiled guy, but he's not going anywhere. He could talk that game all he wants to, and he has the right to say what he wants to say. But they're not going to get rid of him. Not yet. But they do have a plan. And I think that bothers him a little bit, but As the saying goes, any man with a plan with his life is precise. Think twice, Aaron. You keep talking what you want to talk. You'll get traded, all right. Just might not like it. Keep that baby going. Carson Wentz. Wentzylvania. Oh, they gave you the world. Silver spoon in the mouth. Heck, they paid you a bunch of money for not winning the Super Bowl. But that's got to be tough when you put a statue of the backup in front of the stadium. I'd be a bit scarred, too, like every day coming into work as you're down revving your Porsche. Take the key out and sees Nick Foles standing right there. But you went about it a different way. And kind of in a weird way, they're like, okay, well, we're going to give you your wish. How long has that been hanging out? You know it's bad when they say, a week and a half ago, Carson Wentz, by the end of the week, he could end up in Chicago or he could end up in Indy. Then the next week they're saying, yeah, so they might package Wentz and Ertz together to make it more appealing. Really? We're going to add a tight end on the downhill slope to make you look better? And that was your guy? And that's what players in the locker room were saying over those years? Like, dude, take your eyes off the tight end. There are more people on the field. But he spoke his truth. He kind of did a Corey Dillon, a healthy scratch in a game that if you win, you eliminate your dreaded opponent, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Oh, what a team play. You'll do well in the Midwest. You'll find out very quick that in the Midwest, they'll ask you one or two questions. Did you go to this high school or that high school? Or did you marry someone from one of those two high schools? After that, you better figure out your way, son. And then Russell Wilson, who I actually think did it in a classy way when he said, I don't know if the Seahawks are going to treat me or not. Now they're upset because they gave Russell his money. But in turn, they also probably called me and I missed a phone call to be one of his offensive linemen. Look, I know I'm 6'4", but I do not have those moves. That's all Russell is doing. I think that's why they invented that commercial, the AWS tracker, see how far a person runs around. You know, they did it with Mahomes for the Super Bowl. But for Russell Wilson, I think they gave it to him first because they're like, this guy has no offensive line. Russell Wilson probably isn't going to go anywhere, and he probably knows that. That's why he says, I don't know if the Seahawks are going to get rid of me or not. But he'd be perfect here in New England. Two of these guys I mentioned, you put them in football environments, and a guy who has $70 million to spend. Think about that. If you brought in Russell Wilson, you still have an additional $32 million in cap room. And you peel off some other players here to create a little more. But think, you can get Russell Wilson here and still have $32 million. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of like, whoever the next quarterback is should not be paid more than Tom. This is not a summer job. This is not a paper route. This is a multi-billion-dollar sport. And when your team, the one we tend to cheer for, the New England Patriots, is worth $4.1 billion, and the face of the franchise just went to Tampa, you better think about spending that money. All right, coming up on WEEI, late night with KJ, the Celtics. Oh, it might even look worse after something that was revealed with the All-Star game. Plus, there's a sport I feel so bad for right now. That's next.